Hi everyone, and welcome to another live. Um, and it's all about the gentle healing that can heal your body. So generally, when we talk about healing, or you want to come out of something that you're going through, the first thing we think about is medicines, doctors, which is not wrong a lot of times as well. But there is power in gentle healing, there is power in movement, and that's what we're going to talk about today. And today I have Ria Patel, and I'm going to invite her very soon. She's an actor, dancer, and a yoga teacher, and she truly believes that when you are aware of your body, the healing just begins. So let me just invite her. All right. Let's just wait while she joins in. Hi,
Hi,
Ria.
hi, Meghna.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. I'm so glad this is happening.
Yeah, me too. I'm so excited when you reached out to me. I'm like, of course, I'd love to support you. So thank you for having me. Yeah.
Yeah, Ria. So, Ria, today, my main intention of having this call about the gentle healing is, people go through, like everyone is going through stress, some stress or the other. Stress leading to anxiety, stress leading to depression, which people don't even realize
Hmm.
because they are in such a rush to do everything,
Yes.
and like a quick fix, or a quick fix moment, just go for a 20 minutes run, or anything is like, people just want a quick fix for everything these days,
Yeah.
right? And I feel what is happening in this rush and in this rat race is we forget to connect with ourselves. And I was there at some point of
Yeah.
time, probably even 2 years back. And but as I started connecting with myself, like through be it yoga, meditation, or just being conscious with different like little things that are happening around you, I feel my mindset has changed, the way I look at life has changed. It's easy for me to let go. A lot of things just seem like it's just flowing, there's nothing
Yep.
stopping us.
Hmm.
So, and you being a dancer or yoga teacher, an actor, so, everything comes together when you're doing all of that.
Yeah.
So I would love to, hear your experience with it, like, your story. And also, if you have any stories that your students have gone through and it has helped them, and how it can help the, people who are viewing this live as well.
Yeah. So, just like you, I had the mentality of go, 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 do, do, do. And over the years, I would get sick a lot. I would get tired very quickly. I was pushing my body. Now I'm dealing with injuries as well that because I was pushing my body so much when I was younger, and I thought that's how you achieve things in life.
Mm,
And it started off as a dancer first, because any dancers out there, I know it can be a very like as much as it's a fulfilling, it's also a grueling process on your body if you don't take care of yourself. So it was, I was dancing so many times a week for many hours, and I wasn't slowing down, and it was just constantly pushing. And I think that mentality like piggybacked off of other things into my life. And because of dance, I was a gym rat in the beginning, 6 days a week. I would go to the gym. I was lifting heavy. And the goal was always to like lose weight. Um,
yep. Same
yeah,
here.
yeah, yeah. That was always the goal, just like lose weight. And then, yeah, it wasn't until I had injuries, I was forced to slow down. And I think injuries can be very humbling experiences. Even when you're sick, it's like your body is like, you're not listening to me. So I'm going to make you listen to me now. And I think in today's day, we sometimes feel like we have to earn a rest. Um, but that's not the case. Like when you schedule in your busy day-to-day things, like your meetings, your appointments, meeting with friends, whatever it is, you must schedule rest. And it's not just sleep. Like even if it's in the middle of your day, just like a 5-minute grounding practice, whatever that is, like a walk in
Yeah.
the park, if it's a meditation, whatever it is. Yeah, because I think I had an acting teacher actually who would tell me, slow down to speed up. So as a person who likes to like constantly do things, I think this sort of helped. I'm like, oh, so if I want to speed up, then I have to slow down. So it was an interesting kind of what do you call it? Like reverse psychology in a way of
Yep.
like, okay, like in order to do more, I need to actually slow down. And um, yeah, and just over the years as I do different things as well, I have learned to slow down because at times it becomes very overwhelming. Um, Yoga taught me to slow down. Even though I'm a South Asian, I didn't do yoga until, well, I guess my asana practice, my movement practice, up until like almost 3 years ago. Again, it was still gym, and it was a retreat I went to in Bali, and I didn't go to the gym for that one whole week. And I was like, oh my God, like, how am I going to do this? But we had such a wonderful yoga teacher, and it was so nice to just move my body in a different way. Um, and and it's not, and I think there's this false perception, at least with your yoga practice, if it's slow or gentle, it's easy. But that's not necessarily true. Like if you're holding a shape for like
Yep.
5 breaths, like if it's like, warrior two, like it gets to you. So I think it was really nice to learn how to find strength in softness. Um,
Mm.
yeah, and even as a teacher now, at first I was I work at studios, so I was hired to teach a lot of gentle uh, practices, yin yoga, and I used to get so annoyed. Like even 2 years ago, I was like, why? I want to teach these dynamic practices. I want people to do headstands, and I want people to do balances and all these like cool shapes.
Yep.
But I realized in today's day, we actually really need to bring in more gentleness and to slow down. So now, it feels like a privilege to actually teach classes that people get to slow down in. And I guess it's just from like my own experiences of like, doing too much and just going. Over the years, I've just learned that, oh, like rest is not, um, it is a to-do list, if that makes you feel better. It is not
Yeah.
something that you just sleep and get your 7 hours. It's so much more than that. Um, and and I see this in my students as well. Like I'll have students who come in and like I can just like you feel their energies like they've had a long day at work or they're not feeling good, and then they just really need space in the studio on their mat to just be. And I always offer, like, it's not, even if you don't want to move a lot, that's fine. Just, come into Balasana, child's pose. If you want to take
Yeah.
Shavasana early, do that. Um, because it's their time to reconnect.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, it's really beautiful. Sometimes after class, students will come up to me and be like, "Hey, thank you so much. I really needed that." Um, Sometimes there might be a student who's a little overwhelmed and just needs to cry because there's so many emotions. Like because especially with gentle practices or with yin yoga, we're holding the shapes for a little longer. Um, when we come back to stillness, because we're
Mm.
constantly doing,
Doing. Yeah.
that's when the mind kind of goes like and it's like, oh, and sometimes it's scary to like sit with the feelings and to sit with the mind. So I think that's also a reason why people sometimes do cry or get emotional, is because they're
Mm.
holding on to so many things, and finally there's a moment for them to gently move through it, or through stillness hopefully release it as well.
Yeah.
um yeah, so I think yeah, that's been my journey of just like going from, do, but and now just coming more into being.
Yeah.
And there are days where like actually this week already, like I know I was doing so much and I have to keep reminding myself, come back to doing nothing, be. Um, yeah, and it's really lovely to also just see my students taking that on themselves as well. Like they like And I always say, just showing up, you've done it. That's the hardest part. Just show up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And I love this thing of, you need to slow down to speed up.
Yes.
It is, and people just feel like slowing down is like, it's more about, oh, how can I? It just becomes a part of their
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
self-worth that how can I slow down? No, I have to keep going. I have to keep doing things.
Right. Yeah.
So that's like, and I believe too, like, yoga, because I started with like doing online yoga, then I went to do a workshop. And I remember when I was young, I used to do Surya Namaskars, and it was for weight loss.
Yes.
You know, so I'd be like, oh, I would do my workouts every alternate day and do 108 Surya Namaskar.
Yeah.
And my dad would always tell me, if you're doing Surya Namaskar, why don't you do pranayama? And why don't you, concentrate on your breathing? And I was like, that's too much. That's too much for my mind to
Yeah.
slow down. And now it is like after like so many years, even my concept of yoga has changed.
Mm.
It's basically just listening to your body and going with the flow rather than, oh, I have to do this, I have to do
Yeah.
this, or half an hour of yogasan, half an hour of pranayam, and that just gets you into the box, which is not yoga. Yoga is not about that. Yoga
Yes.
is about, as you said, it's about being, and it's about feeling what
Yeah.
is right for you. So that's yeah, that's has been my experience as well. So when you say yoga, so you do yoga, you do dancing, do you still focus on strength training as well?
Um, yes, I do. So I have a problem of sometimes doing too much of something. So in the beginning, like I said, gym 5, 6 days a week, and then because I was getting injured and tired and sick all the time, I stopped gym and I was doing yoga 5, 6 times a week. And then again, injury, and I'm like, what is happening? And my osteo would tell me like, I need you to put both together. You need a balance of both, because
Mm,
with yoga, what can also happen is you're pulling on your ligaments when some of the
yes.
shapes, like there's a
Yeah,
lot of
yeah.
stress on it. I think that again, another misconception of yoga is like, oh, it's very slow and boring. I mean, you could find any kind of practice that fits you in today, whatever it is. So now I've brought strength training back because it is important to like strengthen the muscles around your ligaments to help you do yoga, just as much as it's important to do yoga to create space
Mm,
um, in your muscles to lift, to breathe, to also understand when you're lifting how to use the breath to
right.
help you to lift. Um, so yeah, I think anything in life, I'd say balance is always good.
I so agree with that. And when you're talking about doing too much, I can
Yeah.
reflect back. I'm like, actually, whenever we get into something, it's something like some of our weaknesses that we gradually make into our strengths, and we want to pass on that strength to other people.
Yeah.
So I was that way, I was like, okay, walking after breakfast, walking after lunch, walking after dinner.
Yeah.
And like, I would like, oh, okay, I need to do 4, first it started with 10,000, and then you get, greedy, and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
I can do
Yeah.
12,000. Oh, and
Yeah.
then work out in the morning, and then I want to do this, I want to do that. And then at the end of the day, I would be like, I'm just doing this. And your body does get exhausted,
Yes. Yeah.
right? Because it doesn't need that much. And that's what I have come to a realization that it is more about, even if you do less, just do it perfectly
Yeah.
and do it consistently, which is
Yes.
important,
Yes.
rather than just forcing yourself to keep doing, keep doing, keep doing. Because even if you do it like a whole day, you will not be satisfied if that's the case, right?
Hmm.
So yeah, so now like I have, narrowed down my workouts. So I still do like, I do strength training, I do yoga, I do go for a walk, but it is not like a hard and fast rule
Yeah.
that I have to do this, this, this. Otherwise, earlier I would get just irritated because if I've decided something like, oh, I want to do this, and it is too much because you have other
Yes.
things to do in life.
Yes.
And I frankly, I have seen that I am like, if you take into consideration weight loss, I don't want to lose weight, but overall, because I am in that relaxed state,
Hmm.
I feel so much lighter within my body
Yep.
that oh, I don't have that pressure of keep going, keep going, keep
Yeah.
going, so that I think has really changed things for me.
Hmm.
And I think it's a similar story, right? You just slow down.
Absolutely. And I mean, especially for you, you're a mother as well. So like
Yeah,
you have to slow down. So because
yeah,
you have to fill other people's cups. You have to shop for other people as well. So I absolutely agree. Whether I think that's a whole other level of like,
yeah, yeah,
being a
yeah,
mother and
yeah,
supporting others.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I know because if I sometimes get up early, and in between, I think I had 2 late nights,
Hmm.
and consecutive 3, 4 days, I could see the effect on my mood, and
Yeah.
I would just be irritated with small things, just snapping, and that again because
Yeah.
you have just gone with oh what other people are doing, but not what your
Yeah.
body needs, and
Yes.
sometimes it's okay, but even in that, sometimes you can see the difference. So it's like, it's like acute stress and chronic stress. If you keep doing it, it becomes chronic, and that just becomes your nature to,
Yeah.
be irritated and not feel good. And your body just gets used to being that way.
Yeah. And I think like you said, your body already knows.
Yeah.
So I think there's that phrase people say, mind over body, and it's like, well, sure, but also understand that your body, if it needs rest, you don't
Yeah.
need your mind to override it. Like it already knows. We're still trying to figure it out, whereas your body's already signaled to you, like whether you like somebody's energy, whether you are tired or not, if you're hungry or if you're feeling sad. But then the
Yeah.
mind tries to compensate because we need to make it work or we need to
Yes.
do. So I think as a society, actually need to come back to like our bodies because
Yeah.
it already knows. So instead of having the intention of let's calm the mind, let's, I guess, reconnect with the body.
Yes.
Um, yeah. So if you are somebody that likes to meditate, then like instead of thinking, oh, let's calm the mind, like can you just focus on grounding? Like notice your feet on the earth, notice your sit bones in the chair. And I think automatically the energy from the ground up, it already clears up. So then your mind will also be peaceful and calm. And then even your mind will be like, oh my God, body, you're so right. I actually did need to rest. Um, yeah. So I think, yeah, it is important that we come back to listening to our bodies first and then seeing when the mind is at. Yeah, just checking in.
So if someone wants to start doing that, like apart from, what you told right now,
Yeah.
how can someone, there are a lot of people like I was before, you want to start something, but you just
Yeah.
are not getting there, right? Because most of the times you see the big step. You forget like
Yeah.
they can take tiny steps, but
Yeah.
you just want to jump over it. So how can, anyone who wants to, just connect with themselves, heal themselves? Because I have heard of wonderful stories with yoga, meditation, be it just connecting with your body, affirmations, visualization, like
So
everything,
much.
so much that
Mm.
people have really healed themselves. Like even for me, I remember 2 years back, I had done a yoga workshop which was specifically for thyroid,
Yeah.
because I do have hypothyroid, and my numbers like in those 3 months immediately came down,
Yeah.
so it was like, but what I realized was because I was giving that love and attention to my thyroid,
Yeah.
because otherwise, people be like, oh, I need to have this medicine. Oh, my thyroid is, you know,
Yeah.
bad, or, I have hypothyroid. And people just keep saying it in a negative way
Hmm.
rather than giving it love, giving it importance, and asking it like very calmly to come back to normal and
Yeah,
work
yeah.
to the optimal level. So if someone, like, see, I was already into yoga at that time. But
Hmm.
if someone wants to take that first step, because trust is so important when you start a
Yeah,
practice, right?
yeah.
So how can they start it?
I mean, it's like you said, it's like the small step. And you mentioned that for your thyroid, like it was 3 months. So it didn't just happen overnight.
Yeah.
And I loved how you said like, oh, just giving it some love. I've actually never heard of that. Like, oh, who wants to love their thyroid? We're usually like sometimes putting our bodies down for not doing what it needs to do, whereas just for a moment, just be compassionate
Yeah.
to it. And that might be the first step.
Yeah.
Whatever is going on in your body, whatever habit you want to start, the first step might just be showing compassion for the part that you want to heal. Just notice it, be aware of it, not judge it. I think a lot of
Yeah.
times when I guide meditation practices or like the beginning of a yoga class, I'll often just tell students like check in with your breath, check in where your mind's at. We're not saying like, oh my God, just be still, don't think anything. Oh, deep in the breath, like just notice it. Because once you notice and once you're aware, then you know where to go from there. Yeah, so I'd say that's probably, first step is notice, have compassion, like create, hold space for it. Um, I think the other thing we want is quick results.
Yeah.
But for something to be long lasting, it does take time. It's like what you said, it's like small little steps.
Yeah.
Um, and it can feel frustrating, but it is, I don't know what to say. I mean, it is what it is. That's just how
Yeah.
healing
Yeah.
works.
Yeah. And
Um,
also, you should not forget, like, you have come to this point. It has not been a quick thing. It is
it's not
over the
quick.
years that you
Yeah,
have come to this point. So
yeah,
it's going to take time to go to a completely different direction.
yeah, yeah. And just as much as when you sometimes if you do have an injury, like I have an injured back which flares up on and off. But I now that I think about it, that's been happening over the years because I had a again when I was doing too much, I was also going for 1 hour runs and like the impact of the running on the pavement, I had a labral tear in my hip. So I had a keyhole surgery, but I wasn't aware of my alignment. And over the
Hmm.
years, what that alignment did, my body started compensating. And it's just tiny little things. And over the
Yeah.
years, now it's affected my back. So I'm like, so if we're very quick to judge our bodies or be negative, can you like flip that and be like, okay, like if I take little steps, like in a few months, or maybe it might be a year, like it will heal again.
Yeah.
Um, so I mean, I don't think I have anything new to add.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think it is just like it does start with something small. It's not about doing 1 hour of workout or meditation. It's about just doing five. And there are
Yeah.
days where you won't want to do it. So I always tell myself, okay, like I used to start with 5 minutes, and if I wanted to do more, I do it. If I don't, then I just stop at five.
Yeah.
And now I've pushed it to okay, 10 minutes. But then sometimes I end up doing an hour, and then some days it's just 10. Some days it's still one, but my intention is to always have, with meditation at least, like once a day. Some days it might be 1 minute, and if I do miss a day, it's okay. Try not to miss 2 days. Um, yeah, just noticing, be compassionate. If you miss something, it's okay. Like we all fail and fall, but we get back up. And
Yeah. Yeah.
this is something we want to do lifelong. So are you
Absolutely.
telling me that we're going to be perfect every single day? Like that's,
Not
you don't know what's going to
possible.
happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
One day your kid might need to go somewhere, or you need, to the doctors, or you need to show up for someone else. Like, so you can't
I'm
work out or whatever it
I'm
is.
so glad that you spoke about this, because that's what I always tell my clients, you
Yeah.
know, because you look at social media, okay? People would be like, "Oh, this is my morning routine. I get up at 4:15 I do this, 4:20 I do this."
Oh
Ah,
my
it's
God.
not possible. It's not
Yeah.
possible. Like even if you get up at 4, even if you get up at 7, you
Yeah.
cannot have exact routine every single day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even with you, even if you don't have kids, but you have other things, sometimes you might
Yes.
just want to sleep in,
Yes. I love sleeping.
right? So it's about balancing than the rigidity, because that is going to
Yeah.
actually not let you move forward.
Yes.
Yeah, and when you talk about consciousness, you were talking about, being conscious. I want to actually share something with everyone.
Mhm.
Like I had this severe shoulder pain, okay? It would just come and go, and sometimes it would be so bad that I just couldn't even sleep on my right side. Okay, that was I think around a year back.
Yeah,
And nothing was working. Like initially, I just had like painkillers, thinking that it was a pull or something, but it would just come back.
yeah,
And then I just, became conscious and I decided that I'm setting an intention that whatever practice I do for my yoga, my breathing, everything, I was just sending the energy to my shoulder.
yeah,
And believe me, I used to do like my stretches for the shoulders and everything. And all the energy goes to my shoulder intentionally.
yeah,
And within 1.5 months, without anything, it was healed. So, it is, even that intention that you have in your mind
yeah,
or doing any practice is so important. So, as you said, it was like initially it was the weight loss,
yeah,
and then it changed, and you feel much better when you take off that pressure. Not that, of course, like, having a ideal weight is important because
yeah.
it can, it's a precursor for other lifestyle diseases. So
Mhm.
I do suggest people like, of course, weight loss if required, but not with stress in your mind because that's not going to
Yeah.
help.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I also want to shadow that. I don't, weight loss can be a good thing as well. So just it's if that's what you need in this moment and when done with a healthy mindset, I think that is great. Like if, there was a point where I was an overweight kid and yeah, I could have lost a kilo or two, but now I'm at the point or where like it's not my goal or intention anymore. It's
Yeah,
really
yeah,
just to have
yeah.
a healthy body. So it's just listening to where you're at and where you
I
want to
have actually
go.
stopped seeing the weighing scale. I never do that.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah,
It's just about how you feel, you
exactly.
know,
Yeah.
and yeah, your all your other parameters are good. You're
Hmm.
feeling good. You're feeling light. You're eating healthy. You're
Yeah,
moving. You're thinking positive. You're sleeping well. I think it just takes care of the
yeah.
things.
And that's what yoga is. Like yoga, it comes from the word, as you would know, yuj. With
Yep.
yuj is to yoke or union. So
Yes.
it's not about stretching or doing shirshasana, your headstand or whatever. It's what you said. How do you feel? Your
Yes.
body already knows. So when you notice how you feel, you've reconnected to your body. That's yoga. I have so many students will come to class and they'll say, "I've never done yoga before." I have friends who are like, "I don't know, I don't like yoga," and I'm always like, "Nope, you have been doing yoga since you were born." When you
Yeah.
were, yeah, when you like when we're little, when we decide to tell the truth, that's satya. That's one of the like the yamas in the yoga
Yeah. Yes.
philosophy. When
Yes.
you extend kindness to someone else, I'm sure like you shared like something from your lunchbox. I'm sure your kids sometimes share their lunch with a friend. Like that is in a way ahimsa. They're practicing kindness and non-violence, but kindness to someone. When you
Yes.
allow yourself to sleep in, that is a moment of kindness. And
Yes.
I think I always encourage everyone, not just my students, that how do you practice yoga beyond the mat? And the way you practice on the mat, I really think is a reflection of how you show up in the world. So do you push yourself? Are you ego? Is your ego coming in like, no, I need to be straight. I need to, my whatever pose should be perfect. So I would say that's how your mindset is off the mat as well. So,
Yes.
but can you try to practice, be kind? Okay, like today, like my back's not feeling good. I'm going to support that. Today I'm going to have beautiful, loving thoughts to my shoulder. Great. And I think it's like you said, it's just a practice. It's about understanding and just, yeah, listening to that feeling. And the body knows. I'm just saying, the body knows.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. And now there's so much consciousness, about all these things, and there are people who are, giving out this knowledge. I
Yeah.
feel like when, as when I was in teenage, I don't think there was this knowledge about it because it was all about workouts, workouts, workouts,
Yeah. Yeah.
pushing yourself. Even I think from the point of nutrition, it was more of starvation than nutrition you know unless you went to like someone, because I remember so when I have my clients, I always tell them, oh, you need to reduce your packaged food to the minimum, because then it's not good for
Yeah.
your body, for your health. And I remember when I was young, and I didn't go for myself. I think my mom used to go, my sister used to go, I don't know. And the doctor would be like, morning, breakfast would be tea and biscuits. And
Yeah.
I was like, why would you give them biscuits?
I know. Yeah.
So, so it's like a lot has changed, and same thing it has changed for, how we have, the healing process. And I'm glad like this word, like all these things are spreading and people are
Mm.
understanding and not just rushing to, for like the Western medicine for everything,
Yeah.
because sometimes it's just and you know the best. And
Yeah.
of course, I'm not against Western medicines. They are wonderful when required, but you
Balance.
take your
Yeah.
chance. Yeah, balance. It's all
Exactly.
about balance,
Yeah.
actually. Wow, that's
Absolutely.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, I know. So that just, that's the whole reason for me having these lives to, get that message across that wellness is simple.
Yep.
You don't need to complicate it by spending hours in the gym or hours doing yoga or, just having like healthy food. It has to be again a balance. And so balance is the key. That's what I think
Absolutely.
I get
Yeah.
from this whole talk that we had. It's like balance, slow down, listen to your body.
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
exactly. And it's not always, I know we've called it gentle healing, but it's because I think we need the reminder that we do
yeah,
need to heal gently. Again, slow
yeah,
down to speed up.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
yeah, it's all in balance. Just listen to what you need and how does it feel in you? Um, and yeah, and you go from there. And also I think about why you're doing it. If
yeah,
why do you want a 2 hour, or I don't know, 1 hour lifting workout
yeah,
versus why can't it be 40 minutes? If the
yeah.
why is, oh, because I think that's better, is it? Maybe it is. I don't know. Um,
There
but
are no
just
rules.
yeah,
Everyone
but
is
just
different.
yeah,
Every
yeah,
body is different,
exactly.
right? So, and everyone's needs are different. Like, if you send me, like, I remember, like, before I got married, I used to go to the gym.
Yeah,
Okay, and it was a blackout for me because the trainer gave me such heavy weights. It was not for me.
yeah,
And so it's different for everyone, and we need
mhm,
to understand that rather than just looking at someone like, oh,
yeah.
because she's doing it, I want to do it. Because that's the ego, right?
That's the
That's the
ego
ego.
comparison. What are they doing? What am I not doing? And I do that
Yeah.
too. Yeah,
Yeah, we all do it at some point, even I think still we do it, but it's like how, again, the awareness, if you're
yeah,
aware and you come back,
yeah,
it's a journey. It's a journey which is going
yeah.
to continue. We are humans,
Exactly. Yeah.
right? That's wonderful. So before we end our session, of course, if the viewers have any questions, you all can go ahead, and we'll try to answer that. And what would be the last thing you would like to say, like a one-liner for everyone who is watching you, um, that is going to benefit them?
I would say what I say at the end of every yoga class: hydrate and go gently. That's it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I don't. Yeah. And
that's
yes,
that's
you're
a,
right. Fit soups, subs. Yes, awareness is key. Just
yeah,
notice. Yeah, without
yes,
even judgment, just notice.
yes.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's
Yeah. What
amazing.
would, is there something, yeah, what about you? Yeah, can you offer me a takeaway for today or something I should take on for the rest of my day?
Yes, I think for me it would like I would like to say people that again, like as you said, set your whys and
Yeah.
set an intention, whatever it is, and stick to that intention. It can go here and there a bit, but coming back is your strength. So
Yeah.
just going off the bandwagon doesn't determine that you're failed. you know.
Yeah.
It is coming back is what matters, because we all do fall off wagon.
And sorry, just adding to that quickly.
Yeah.
I think sometimes people ask, what is the difference between a goal versus intention? And you just said that. I think sometimes goals feel very rigid, like, oh, this
Hmm.
has to be set by, this time, this
Yes.
date, X, Y, and Z has to happen. Whereas
Yes.
intention is a lot more, there's a lot more grace or softness to it. Like my
Yes.
intention is to do X, Y, and Z. And if it doesn't happen, you just reconnect, come back.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
yeah, so I think it's nice to sometimes have goals. Goals are great, but to also just have intentions, for the
Yeah, yeah,
day, for
because
whatever
I
it
was
is.
a person with who used to have goals all the
Yeah,
time, and I used to have like, I used to have my schedule, and it would be
yeah,
so packed that it would actually stress me out. So now
yeah,
it's like, okay, I have an intention. Like today, I had an intention to do my strength training,
yeah,
but I was binge watching Netflix yesterday, so I didn't get up,
yeah,
and I was like, okay, but I have set an intention, so it was not the first thing that I did in the morning,
yeah,
but I did it like, when my son went for his tennis, and I was like, okay, I have 40 minutes, I'm just gonna do, and again,
hmm,
it's not gonna be, if I have 10 minutes, I would have just done that, but
yeah,
I just kept on to my intentions, but not be rigid like, oh, I have decided 40 minutes and I have to do it.
yes, yeah,
And I think that just changes the way you think, the way you feel, and the way your health goes as well.
yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. Thank you so much for being here. I'm like, we have been talking for so long to, come
I can
together.
always talk
And
to you. It's so lovely. Like just I'm learning from you and just having these conversations and like I love how we're both like, yes, yes, I did that too. Yeah, me too. Oh my God, you're so right. Yeah, so I think that's really beautiful. Yeah.
yeah, that's amazing. So yeah, and maybe we can have some, one more live sometime else, and we can discuss
I'd love
more.
to be
So
back on.
yeah,
Yeah.
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 All right. Thank you. Thank you so much, Ria.
No, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah.
Yes, and thank you to the viewers that came and
Yeah.
went and got something, hopefully a little nugget out of
Yes,
it.
and I would be putting this up on my YouTube channel also. So,
Oh, beautiful. Yeah.
because I think sometimes people don't want to look in the Instagram, but I will be doing that. So, and I'll tag you along.
Beautiful. Thank you. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
All
Yeah.
right.
Thank you,
Bye.
Miko. Yeah.
Yeah, bye.